Hello and welcome to Rick's RC Flying Channel. Well, finally, the Sweet and Low Bill series has come to a close. I ended up doing the Maiden flights. There were two of them. The first one did not end well. And on that day, before heading out to the field, I took the airplane out of my shop and assembled the wing onto it, ran the engine, checked things over. I did a full control check, ensuring that the controls are moving in the correct direction to my control inputs. Everything checked out. I then basically loaded up the airplane. I was anxious to get to the flying field. However, one thing I did notice that when I mounted the wing to the airplane, that the aileron wires coming out of the wing were not labeled. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd because I label all my wires. And I thought, well, I must have missed it somehow. And I figured what had happened was, I had the fuselage on the table and I did all the labeling and the wing was back here somewhere, out of sight, out of mind, and I missed it. But I figured, like I said, I was anxious to get to the field. When I get back, I'll label it. So I get to the field, we put the airplane together, get it to the flight line, I get the engine running, warming up, and then I did a function check while I was standing there with the airplane while I was running. And a function check is just the fact that the controls are moving. So there's quite a difference. And I didn't do a control check. I don't know why. I just settled for a function check because I thought, well, I just did a control check a little over half hour ago at home. And so then taxied out. I went once up or down the runway just to make sure she's tracking straight, looking good. Commenced the takeoff roll, start rolling down the runway. As soon as she started to lift off, might have been a little wind or something, she just rolled ever so slightly. I instinctively go to correct, it rolled more. I correct again, it rolls even more. Next thing I know, I'm 90 degrees. The wingtip hits the runway. It kind of surprised me. It actually bent the right main gear. It sheared off the nylon bolts, thank heavens. They were nylon. And the entire tail was broken off. There's quite a bit of damage down here. Bottom part of the rudder, 1/3 of the rudder was missing. A piece out of the aileron came off like that. The fiberglass cowling had 4 spots that were damaged. And there were other areas that had superficial damage. So that did not end well. And, talking with my buddies there, we're trying to analyze just what happened because I was dumbfounded. I really had no idea. It happened all so quick too, you'll see. Within a second, it was over. At that point, we surmised, we said, well, maybe I lifted up too early. The right wing stalled, dropped the wing. I don't know. I really didn't know what to think at that point. But when I got home, I reviewed the video several times. And, I even noticed when the part where the airplane is 90 degrees and I, looked at it frame by frame. You could see full aileron deflection. I instinctively, as it, was rolling to the right, I had full left aileron at that point. And then I noticed the controls, the ailerons, were backwards. I had hooked up the wing, the wires, backwards onto the airplane. I thought that, when the wing was under the airplane and I'm mounting the wing, as I took the wire, I thought it was out of the right side, hooked it up to the starboard one, the left to the port. Like I said, I just did a function check, not a full control check. I figured, well, I just did one a little over a half hour ago. It was a big mistake. So I paid dearly for that. So as the airplane was sitting on my bench, I surveyed all the damage. And I thought, well, you know what, I'll do it over the winter. Between other projects, I'll work on it. And I started thinking, you know, I've got a loyal following of subscribers on this Bill series. You deserve to see it fly. So that same day, I just dove right into it, rebuilt the tail. The landing gear was all realigned, fixed the fiberglass cowling and the aileron and other areas of the airplane, and repainted it, matched it, feathered it. You'd be hard pressed to know that the airplane was ever damaged. It looks just like new. So, anyways, I then decided to do a second maiden flight. What's kind of funny is that all my airplanes have pilots. So I didn't have one here. I make all my pilots, and I didn't have none of the pilots fit in this particular airplane. Plus, I hadn't fabricated the seatbelt harness, any of the components. So I thought, well, you know what the heck? I was anxious to get a Maiden. So I'm on everybody's case at the field when they don't have a pilot with my buddies there. So I got a ribbing for it, deservingly. And we even joked around, said, maybe you shouldn't do a maiden flight without a pilot. We kind of laughed about it. Well, it didn't end well. And literally the night before doing the second maiden flight, my wife and I built another pilot. I 3D printed the head, the hands, and what have you. And actually, that's me. A friend of ours in our club, he has a 3D scanner. And so I had that file. So that's actually me. Now, yes, I have black hair here. I'm trying to look a little younger instead of putting gray hair on. The other ones all have gray hair. We were actually going to put a leather helmet on it, but we were my wife and I up till midnight, the night before the Maiden, getting this guy all installed and ready. And that second Maiden flight, it flew beautifully. It tracked really straight down the runway. It has a really good natural habit to track straight because of its long moment arm and wide main landing gear. And I only used 80% power. The engine's far from run in yet. And it's running on the rich side deliberately. So as it gets more time on it, I'll start leaning it out more. There's a lot of power, potential power to extract from that engine. It's a Moki 210. And I even babied it during the flight. And on the takeoff roll, I don't think I hardly even used 80% power, if that. And it accelerated fine and gently lifted off. So, once I extract more power from that engine, she'll be really sweet to fly. I've had people on earlier videos that I had, particularly when they saw this cowling, they said, is there enough prop area out here to provide adequate thrust? Well, let me tell you, there's plenty. When it comes to the prop, that last 1/3 out there dynamically gives you a tremendous amount of thrust. So there's no problem. There was plenty. I know when you look at it, you go, wow, there's not very much out there, but it's enough. I mean, if you look at a GB, the size of its cowling and how much prop is really out there, and yet they use the airplane for racing. So anyways, yeah, it was a mistake wholeheartedly on my part, and I paid dearly for it. But at the end, it all worked out. So in this video, you get to see the not so good maiden flight. And in several days, I'll have the other video out that shows you the successful maiden flight. I just got to get that put together on YouTube. But anyways, so if you have any comments or questions, as always, I welcome them. And if you like the video, please select like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.